Hey friends, thanks for joining us today. This video is the last of what we're calling Season 1, which marks 1 year of living full-time in our RV and 7 months of traveling in it. I am in a toque. It's snowing in Idaho.
Pretty sure I said I did not want to see another snowflake. What, who's the better driver?
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Okay, so you guys just marked for a random exam, okay?
Okay. It's really intimidating to be thoroughly searched, but...
When coming into your home country, What were you sleeping on that your face is so dirty?
Welcome to Canada.
We're sharing our last few travel days between Utah and Canada, and maybe dropping some big news along the way. So stick around and ride along with us. This is we're gonna call it a Season 1 recap. In this video, you'll find us mostly in the truck traveling from Utah into Canada over a few days. As the last bit of our travel. In the meantime, we're gonna answer some questions and recap our first season, 7 months of traveling full-time in our 44-foot fifth wheel Toyhauler with our motorcycles and ATVs. So I'm gonna ask some questions and we're gonna try and answer them for you. After a few great days in Cedar City, it was time to hit the road. We had a long drive ahead as we started making our way north to the Canadian border. Navigating through Salt Lake City is always a thing. So many exits, so much traffic, but thankfully we timed it just right and cruised on through.
I think it was pretty much the first day that we left. I like to travel, I like camping, I like different destinations and stuff, so I don't know how that could go wrong. So yeah, pretty much first day. You?
Yeah, I don't know the exact moment, but I think as we got more comfortable setting up, taking down, moving, it just seemed like it was meant for us. So within a few weeks, we were pretty happy with what we were doing. And it felt like we should have done it sooner.
Well, I was happy from day one.
It took me a minute.
You're never going to be 100% prepared, so just don't sweat the small things. Stuff's going to happen. You're going to have dips. Just take it as they come.
Yeah. Just know that there's always a solution to the problem in front of you, and you just have to get there.
Yeah. And ignore your initial frustrating thoughts. Because I think every time something went wrong, I had some pretty significant frustration, and after I stewed for a little while, it would fade away and say, okay, well listen, we can take care of this.
Yeah, and it wasn't a big deal. So it turned out to be small stuff. We spent a few nights in Lava Hot Springs again. You might remember this little gem from our way down. Success on auto level.
I never knew it could happen.
It was a little chilly the further north we went, but Jason managed to find a little warmth one evening. And while I was layering up, Willow was loving the cooler temps. A nice break from the Arizona desert heat that she'd been dealing with for the past few months. And this time, Jason couldn't resist grabbing some drone shots of the trains as they rolled by.
That's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Because we've had a lot of them. I mean, Porcupine Hills was pretty epic.
That was our very first stop.
That was our very first stop. And I loved it there. Other than, you know, the hot breaks and brake fade and almost dying going down that steep grade to get to our spot.
I'm not gonna lie, this was sketch.
It was really nice there.
It was cold, though.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of cold.
I was cold. I think my favorite stop, Moab with the Canyonlands National Park motorcycle ride being a favorite stop and a memory. We had a really good time there. We probably could have stayed longer.
I definitely would have stayed there longer, especially if we had a side-by-side. Cedar City. What was the name of that BLM area?
Summit BLM, which was outside of Parowan or something. Small little town, but about 20 minutes away from Cedar City.
We just thought it was going to be, I don't know, a flat, barren piece of land that you just put your rig on and camp for a few days or whatever, and that was not the case. That was set up just like a campground. A non-service campground, mind you, but it had several lots and stuff there. It was beautiful. Pretty nice.
I would agree with Cedar City. I also loved where we were in Baja. So San Felipe was nice and a favorite spot too. So, and we did a few videos down there. We are currently traveling. We stayed at Pont Neuf Bend campground again for a couple of nights to reset before another big drive day to push back to Canada. And we are currently headed to Great Falls, Montana. So it's our last stop before crossing the border into Canada, and we will see our family for a quick visit and head on down the road again. I am in a toque. Why, do you ask? Jason, why am I in a toque?
Snowing in Idaho.
It's snowing in Idaho.
Pretty sure I said I did not want to see another snowflake as long as I lived. That was short-lived.
Like only about 6 months.
Yeah.
Not cool. The biggest adjustment has been downsizing, living in 400 square feet or less. On travel days, it's especially smaller because we don't get to use this 16-foot garage because it's full of our big toys. But downsizing and living in a smaller space would be something my biggest adjustment would have been.
Oh, I have it.
Oh, there you go.
Not having a large garage to kind of putter around in. Yeah, that's definitely an adjustment.
That's that.
We have a garage, but it's a storage compartment more than anything.
It doesn't have any tools in it.
Yeah. Again, I don't think there's anything I would do differently. Maybe do it sooner. I probably would have done it sooner.
I agree with that, yeah.
Guess who's driving? It's nice to have a rest break on these long drive days, so I don't get so fatigued. What is your rush? Big fella?
Back on the road, and yep, driving through snow in April. This wasn't exactly what we pictured for our last few travel days, but that's RV life for ya.
So babe, what do you think about driving in your first bit of snow?
With the trailer?
Pulling the rig.
It's a little nerve-wracking because I'm not used to it, but these kind of road conditions, not pulling a trailer are things that I'm used to. I grew up in them, but pulling a trailer, definitely different, but
I think you're doing awesome.
thanks.
Keep up the good work. I'm gonna have a nap. Kidding.
You do that. Catch me my road sign, will you?
Yeah, you gotta catch a road sign because somebody doesn't do them very well.
What?
I'm a little calmer.
Less anxiety, less stress.
I get less anxious on travel and whatnot, so because it's just a part of our life now. That's about it.
You're just less anxious?
I'm less anxious.
Yeah.
I'm calmer, much calmer, until something breaks.
And even then, he doesn't really.
Then I turn a little green sometimes.
And as a couple, I would say we've definitely grown closer, mostly because we're with each other 24/7.
Yeah, who knew that would happen?
And I think we've learned patience, compromise, and definitely we've upped our communication as a couple. Yeah? A little bit? Okay.
A little bit. unexpected challenge, I think, was probably like our leveling system when it went down.
Like a week, 2
yeah.
weeks into our first.
Yeah, right into the very start of our travels, it decided to fail.
That was a big dip.
So that was a pretty big challenge. It was a big repair. Luckily, the folks at Camping World in Idaho Falls were very accommodating, to say the least, and got us in and diagnosed it and got all the parts and everything fixed up. And
yep, all we had to do was be patient.
Yep.
Another state line in the books as we rolled into Montana is one step closer to the border and a whole new adventure.
Maybe, maybe not. Because look, there's the white stuff. Snow. Dirty snow.
Well, it's technically white.
It's dirty. It's poison.
It's like a dirty word.
Nasty.
Dirty?
Yeah.
Willow was so wiped out from all the travel, I actually caught her with her eyes closed in the truck. Not sure how much sleep she actually got, but then she popped up like, "Are we there yet?" and went right back to looking around at the landscape.
What, who's the better driver? Me. She can drive right forward. Back with some guidance, she does pretty good. I mean, this is a big rig, so, and she's never really towed or parked or anything like this before, so
Yep.
gotten pretty handy at it and used to it. So
In my defense, because he does it so often and does it so much, it's just easier for him to do all the backing in and things like that, and we haven't really taken the opportunity to let me practice.
yeah,
So
we don't need a bumper dent. Me, my memory's not great, and then sometimes I feel rushed even when we're not rushed, and I overlook some things, so usually I always forget to do something.
So we're stopped for a few days in Great Falls, and our Willow has been enjoying the cooler weather as compared to where we were in southern Arizona and Mexico. And she's been sleeping under the trailer for the last couple of hours, and I look outside and you, Missy, have black face. You have a black face. What's going on? What were you sleeping on that your face is so dirty?
Well, she found something and decided to wear it. Willow's always keeping it classy out here on the road.
Probably that Victron solar controller.
Yeah, it's right over here. We keep moving it around.
We've had it for 2 years, and I haven't changed it, and only because our GoPower solar controller is not working properly, but it's working enough, so it's it's not high on the priority list to change out at this time. I think she likes it.
I think she does too.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely loves the ocean, so she never got to experience that until we started traveling.
Yep. She's seen desert and cactus and
Yep.
yeah, I think she likes it.
Definitely. I would go back there on a yearly basis. It was fantastic. It was easy getting through the borders. The checkpoints were all easy. As far as pulling the rig from the Mexican border down to San Felipe was easy. The roads are no different than the highways in the US or Canada. I mean, they might be a little more bumpy in some areas and stuff, but overall they were nice and wide. They had lots of room.
Yep.
And the speed limits were fine. So yeah, it was no big deal. Like, I know they get narrower after you pass San Felipe, so I don't know if I would pull it any further than that, but lots of people do. I guess it's all depends on your comfort level.
Right.
Border crossing time. final border to Canada. Hopefully we have no problems getting in.
All of our friends who've crossed so far said
Good to go.
all the border agents were like, welcome to Canada.
Just got my last tank of fuel from the US at good prices, so not that that's gonna last very long, but every penny pinch helps.
There's two open.
Is there a couple open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue on to Alberta 4 North, then continue straight to stay on Alberta 4 North.
Take off the old shades and hat.
Welcome to Canada.
Hello.
Hello. I think that goes back to one of the previous questions. It's basically don't sweat the small things. Like traveling like this is going to throw you curveballs, and you just gotta handle them as they come.
Yep. Things are gonna break and stuff's gonna happen and the timing is gonna be inconvenient and we just have to move forward the best we can and not dwell on the problem.
And try not to overthink it.
Yeah.
Where you guys coming from?
Mexico.
Purpose of your trip?
We live here.
Vacation. We're snowbirders.
Any alcohol with you guys?
About 500 milliliters of whiskey, which is about half a bottle, and probably 450 milliliters of gin.
Is that it?
Yes.
The bells between the two of you?
Yes.
Any tobacco with you guys?
None.
Guns or weapons?
None.
Cash over $10,000?
No.
Cannabis or marijuana?
No.
Okay, so you guys are just marked for a random exam, okay?
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. You see that big building off to the left there with the 3 garages?
Yep.
The third one's gonna open up there, okay?
Okay.
Pull it through there, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Turns out Willow's border charm doesn't work so well coming into her own country. And after a couple of minutes of repositioning around 2 other rigs, we finally got ourselves into the bay for inspection.
Are you supposed to go into the garage?
Well, I don't know if I'm going into the number 3 or number 4. Can you go in and talk to them?
Yep.
And just see?
Yep.
That us?
Yeah, and
Okay.
she told me I needed to be in the truck. That's 13.6 exactly.
Okay.
I'll have you shut it off for me, please.
Yeah.
I'll take the documents. All right, passenger, if you can put a leash on the dog,
Yep.
I'll have you take him for a walk outside, and then driver, you can step out with me.
Okay.
So you guys have 5 milliliters of whiskey, or 500, yeah, that's set there. I didn't say it properly. 4 bottles of gin and 6 Coronas.
It should be 1 bottle of gin.
Oh, 4, it said 4 by 450 mil?
Should be just 450 mils of gin.
Okay, sounds good. So just the 1 bottle of gin and then 6 Coronas, roughly. Awesome. And then aside from that, you guys didn't buy or receive anything while you were gone? Cool.
On a pretty strict budget.
Fair enough. I see that, especially with the dollar these days and everything. So, you guys had the trailer with you the entire time?
Yes.
Okay. And then this is your truck and trailer under your ownership? How often do you guys go down and do this? First time. Nice. What?
We'll start full-time RV in September.
Okay, very nice. Have you guys ever been searched by customs before?
Not Canadian customs or even US Mexican.
Okay. What was your experience with Mexican customs?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just quick look through your vehicle and stuff?
Opened the doors, looked around.
Okay. So pretty much the same thing today. We're going to go through from the truck all the way through the trailer and everything like that. Make sure all the answers that you gave the officer is true. And then if that's the case, it's going to be pretty quick and you're going to be on your way. Our system randomly selects people. It'll pick up your plate and then we have to send you in. That's what happened with you today. So I'll have you go join your wife outside with the dog for
Okay.
now. And then when you guys are ready, after you give the dog a minute to walk around on the grass, you guys can come back in, right next to the trailer, into that waiting room through the double doors. Okay? Cool.
Guess where we are?
We're getting searched thoroughly.
Random search at the Canadian border of all places.
This one's a first for us, so
Mm-hmm.
the two custom agents seem pretty nice. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I remembered everything,
Yeah, he was the one.
because that would suck.
He was the one answering the question, so it's not my fault.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to a new ride. More to come on that.
Well, after those test drives, we decided to put the quads up for sale and to move into looking for a side-by-side. So that is in progress right now as we are recording, and as we're traveling, we are in the market. So Mister's looking forward to the possibility of a new ride. Yeah, I guess I am too. That's a big change for us.
That's because of me. With my illness, riding the quads and stuff, as fun as they are, it just kicks the crap out of me. I spend days in bed afterwards sometimes, so it was kind of exhausting to kind of be repetitive on that. We kind of come to an agreement that
I took the pin out.
a side-by-side would be more beneficial to riding and for our content.
We needed to balance Jason's health with our activity levels. So that meant changing our machine.
Yep. Yes, we have.
We're looking.
Yeah, we won't tell you what it is.
Well, you're partial to Can-Am brands.
Yeah, of course. But there's
Yes.
many models of Can-Ams.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't tell you what the model is
There's a
that
hint.
we're looking at. But it's coming.
We're shopping in the Can-Am brand.
Go ahead, we're done. We come out of there. It was pretty easy.
That was
I was a little nerve-wracked, to say the least. It was, it's really intimidating to be thoroughly searched, but
when coming into your home country. That's a weird one.
So, but anyway, we passed with flying colors, as I figured we would, but you never know when you forget something, like 2 lounging chairs
And a cooler.
and a cooler. But I mean, it only didn't even amount to $200. I think we're fine there.
Did the initial guy, did he make a mistake on our alcohol declaration? Like
Yeah.
4 bottles of gin?
He said we had 4 bottles of gin. We only have 1 partial bottle of gin.
So did they say,
Yeah, I told her it was a
Corrected.
mistake.
okay,
She was fine. I checked through it anyway.
oh, okay, good.
Yeah, now we're officially into Canada.
Yay!
Bienvenue. Now I gotta get off this miles per hour.
Yeah, you gotta flip your thing over again. Either way, border agents were really nice. They even said cool to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, let's see if they subscribe.
We'll see.
Which I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but we really appreciate everybody that has subscribed so far.
Yeah.
Keep them coming. It really helps us out.
Oh, here's my sign. Keep coming.
Fitting song to play Alberta bound right now.
Where do we start? I get muscle and joint pain. I get weakness, lightheadedness and dizziness, brain fog. Sometimes my speech gets slurred. Well, I want to say some words, but they don't want to come out. And it's almost like a pause moment kind of thing. So there's those. I'm sure I'm probably missing a couple. Things that are kind of linked along COVID, like I get like burning sensations in my eyes. Gosh, what else? That's probably about it. Some of them I get worse than others, and it'll also depend on the amount of activity that I do on any given day. I'm in bed a lot, so which kind of sucks because I miss a lot of good weather sometimes, or opportunities to go on some motorcycle rides with people in quad rides. So I do kind of come to terms with we don't get to do all of that when we want. So yeah, that's how I kind of get through it.
To Alberta. We are in Alberta.
So one other cool thing is to be really organized in your truck and in your camper. They were really surprised on how clean and tidy and organized our rig was, which I don't think it's that organized, but apparently they see a lot worse. That's why it takes so long sometimes to search, and they get really thorough, like you're probably trying to hide something. So just make sure it's convenient for them and organized, and you'll have no trouble.
Well, we do that for us mostly.
Anyway, it feels good to be back in Canada, and we're going to stop at Lethbridge for a couple nights at KOA.
Get the truck washed and
Get the truck
rig
washed because
washed.
it is disgusting. I'm not even going to show you what it looks like. It's horrible. Just take my word for it. And head to the KOA, set up for a couple days, and we're going to rest a bit.
Yeah.
Make our trek north. Yeah, Texas.
Texas. We really want to go to Texas.
Yep.
And explore a little bit in hill country, and somebody wants to find a meat church, barbecue something or other, and see what we can do about finding some smoked meat.
Yep. Also Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah. The Hatfield and McCoy trails are there, so
Oh.
I've seen lots of YouTube videos on the trail riding there, and I really want to hit that spot up.
All right. So if anybody knows anybody who can help us hook us up into the Hatfield and McCoy trails, give us a like and a comment below, and
Yeah, we'll get this ball rolling.
we'll schedule something. So that kind of wraps up a little bit of our season 1 of traveling, and we are so grateful for everybody who's come along with us and subscribed and watched our videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, we would really appreciate it if you did. That gets our numbers up and helps us grow our small channel. See you in a week or two, and starting season 2.
Season 2.
Big travel, big changes.
Yeah, not big plans, because we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. So, plans-ish.
Plans-ish.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it.
So I guess that alludes to season 1 is a wrap.
Pretty
And-
close, yeah.
Come on, season 2. Here we go.
Big changes, big travels. That's season 2.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, we can't wait for you guys to come along with us.